The next song is Don't Look Back in Anger. Now, I made a big thing in the last video about how Wonderwall has become this sort of joke that it's almost become too ubiquitous to be enjoyed by fans of Oasis because they hear it everywhere. So when you hear it on the album, you're just sort of, I've had enough of Wonderwall, skip it. They've had the temerity to do it twice with this. So this is also Oasis' Wonderwall, because now Don't Look Back in Anger has become this new elevated song that's taken on a whole new life beyond the parallels or parameters of Oasis fandom. Most notably, of course, was after the Manchester Arena attacks, when during a vigil, a very very organic vigil that had been sort of brought together in the wake of those attacks. Some lady, just, I don't know who it was, don't know if they had an agenda, just decided to start singing Don't Look Back in Anger. And very, very quickly, the whole crowd joined in with her. Again, one of these songs that, in a crowd of complete strangers, everyone knows how to sing this song. The song itself begins, of course, with two chords, which some people think is just a copy of John Lennon. I was at a quiz the other night on one of the just fastest finger first. It was a fastest finger first. Tap the answer as soon as you know it. I had to actually stop one of my teammates from putting John Lennon down as an answer because the answer was very clearly Oasis. This is even after the electric guitar had dropped in. He was still, oh no, John Lennon. No, very clearly Oasis. Much better production, much more rich chords, even though they're almost the exact same. There's some more texture or depth or just life to them than just the that John Lennon brought with his really cheesy song that a lot of celebrities embarrassed themselves with at the start of lockdown. Then obviously it goes into the lyrics, and this is one of the strongest lyrical songs the Oasis have, in that it really speaks to what it must be like being a very frustrated, for want of a better word, a frustrated genius in an environment where you're surrounded by people who maybe don't really are pitching at the same level as you intellectually. So you end up just sort of going into your head and starting revolutions from your own bed, not actually doing anything, not actually achieving anything, and all you have around you is people just say, cheer up, take that smile from off your face, cheer up, stand up beside the fireplace and sing a song, which I'm sure Peggy Gallagher probably said numerous times to Noel during his childhood, telling him that he needs to just cheer up, just put a smile on your face, everything's going to be grand. And it's like, well, no, is it really? Is when you're sitting here and everything you try, you're just going round and round circles, unless you just happen to run into Al McGee after touring around universities for months upon years, where you're not really getting anywhere. You just happen to run into Al McGee, who's flush from all that Primal Scream money. If it hadn't been for that, where would Noel and Liam be now? Like the music video, I would. It's very identifiable, but I wouldn't necessarily put it up as iconic. Even though Noel with the glasses and the wee thing with the wee magnifying glass and everything, just doing his wee bits, it's not quite as visually striking as Wonderwall was. Again, still very identifiable, still very much of a piece when you're promoting, the second album of a new band that just happens to be a massive phenomenon. It's great. It's great to do the rounds on MTV and now latterly YouTube and whatnot. He's often said that he never actually knew a person called Sally that he was referring to in the song. He's said in interviews, in later years, that a fan came up and asked, "Is that Sally Cinnamon?" as in from the Stone Roses songs, and he turned around and goes, "Wish I'd thought of that. That'd have been great." I think just Sally just happened to be a name that sort of fit the timbre and the time signature well. But that chorus, and it's only two elongated notes. So Sally can wait. So it's just a number of elongated notes that just brings this epic, anthemic, commonality to the song, that you could start singing it down the street and somebody will pick up "She Knows It's Too Late as We're Walking On By." It was the second number one in the UK charts. It was voted in a Channel 4 poll in the early 2000s as the fourth best number one of all time, maybe the eighth best. One of the greatest number one hits of all time. But yeah, so it was considered one of the greatest number one hits of the 20th century, effectively, in the UK. The charts now are largely irrelevant. Just there this week, Alex Warren, who I've not heard of, has come off a 12-week run at number one, which was broken into two bits. Sabrina Carpenter is something like 40 weeks of the last 2 years has been number one. The streaming services have just utterly decamped any benefit or any sort of cultural sort of timepiece that the charts used to be, because just somebody puts on this playlist, somebody puts on Spotify playlist in the pub or in the gym or the yoga class or the just in the background at work. They don't really care what's on it, just put in top 40 hits, and Spotify will just keep feeding the top 5 songs are just going to be on everyone's list. That's multiplied numerous times up and down the country, and doesn't really have a reflection on what people might actually be purchasing or buying. The MP3 era, when you could actively say, well, Charles Barkley, or when you could actually say that a Gnarls Barkley hit had been downloaded 14,000 times, therefore it's the biggest hit in the country. That was perfect and made it a lot easier for them to count it, and made it a lot easier to keep records. That is now past. The streaming era is now curated playlists that are utterly warping all the influence of the charts, and I don't think we're going to get to a point where we'll ever get the charts back again as a cultural touchstone. But this was when a number one hit actually did matter, and it was the second number one, the second of the same album as well, by the way, and the album had already been released. Oh, by the way, a bit of news. Did you hear? Oasis are reforming. Yes, I didn't actually think it would ever happen. I thought that if it would take a monumental occurrence of worldwide events to bring Noel and Liam to get back together. Turns out all it needed was a monumental occurrence of cash money. And Ticketmaster made sure that they got a good massive percentage of that cash money. So the tickets were flying around for 400 quid a piece. When it was announced, I sort of suspected there would be a interminable rush for tickets, so I didn't actually apply for any. I didn't think it'd be anywhere near as bad as it became. Like if I was waiting for tickets and I saw it was number 10,000, or I think some people saw maybe 30,000 in the queue. There only is about 30,000 tickets. You can't even guarantee you're going to get one, so you could be sitting there all day and then find out there wasn't actually tickets for you. I didn't do that, thankfully. I know lots of people who did, and I know lots of people who didn't get anywhere near the tickets. I know people who got to the end of the tickets and then had to fork out the 400 quid to get the tickets. So the gig is happening this Friday in Cardiff, the first one. There's a niggling wee buzz about me that I actually wouldn't mind just being in Cardiff for that, not even to get tickets to the gig, just to be in Cardiff for the fact that everyone in the town will be singing Oasis songs.